Hey everyone, I wanted to do a review on this Weapon X LT4 Supercharger Lid that I bought for my 2015 Z06. This is their smooth, black anodized version. And I didn't see too many review videos of this lid, which made it a little frustrating because I've been trying to increase the supercharger whine on my Z06 since I bought the car. There's just hardly any whine to it. I have a K&N cold air intake and a Tony Mamo V2 ported throttle body, and I was hoping both of those were going to make the whine come out, but unfortunately it didn't. And then I was looking at the NX Supercharger lid, but that was like $1,500, and I just wasn't going to spend that on a lid. And then I heard Weapon X was coming out with one, and that promised, increased supercharger whine as well, but I didn't see any videos on it and things like that. So I thought I would do everyone a solid that's thinking about this lid or ways to increase their supercharger whine on their LT4 engine, either a Z01 Camaro or, Corvette C7 Z06. So I'm going to be making this video, remove my old one, install this one, and do some sound tests outside of the car, driving on the road, in cabin, things like that. So here we go. Okay, it's install day. Since I have a 2015 Z06, I have the old hood liner, which doesn't have the clearance as the 2017 and onwards hood liners that have a much more recessed indentation there for the supercharger lid. So if you're going to get the Weapon X Supercharger lid, you need at least a 2017 Corvette with the new updated hood liner. Or if you don't, these are only about 150 bucks. So again, if you have a 2015 or 16, you're going to need this guy. I'll put a link below, but it's about 150 bucks from my dealer delivered, so not bad. Okay, I got the new hood liner installed. I meant to mention this before I removed it. To remove these, I use a fork. You can just gently go behind there and pry and they pop right out. And then all you have to do is remove these two bolts. And then this whole plastic piece, you just pull outwards and it'll pop off. And then the whole hood liner comes out. So we got the new one on there. Now it's time to remove the stock lid. All right, I got the stock lid removed. As you can see, we got the stock one there and the new Weapon X, which is substantially taller, as you can see, which is why we needed that hood liner. Another thing you want to make sure of is there's these little gaskets around each bolt, and I just used like a little Phillips screwdriver. You can see it right there inside, but you just want to push those out because you want to reuse those, as well as the gasket that goes around the side. You should probably have a new one. I think the service manual says a new one, but my Vet only has 2,000 miles on it, so I'm thinking it'll be all right. And then we're going to be reusing those as well. And these little black guys are also in the 4 bolts that go around. So just FYI. Another little quick tip, I used my air compressor and just gave the new lid a once over with the air compressor, making sure to get inside here because there was some, just dirt and things like that. You want to get this sucker clean before the install. Okay, I have the gaskets transferred. This one was a breeze. These circular ones were a breeze. And these little bolt, washers or gaskets, whatever you want to call them, fit in pretty easy. Except for these inner 4. They're a smaller diameter hole, and so they just don't fit as well as, of course, the ones on the outside, but maybe once the bolt's in there, it'll be good. But Weapon X, if you're watching this, I think the inside diameter holes need to be slightly larger to accept those garments or gaskets or whatever you want to call them. Hey guys, I didn't like how these were bunched up on these 4. They just didn't sit in there. The diameter is just too tight. And they should look like this, but they were just pinched in there and the bolts weren't going in. So I'm using my drill and a 932 drill bit to expand it just a little bit. All right, so I had to drill down quite a bit. They're still not 100% perfect, but now I can at least get the screw in there and it should make installation a lot easier. It was quite the mess with metal shards, so I vacuumed as much as I could, then hit it again with my pressure washer, and then took some degreaser and just wiped it down, made sure it was dry because you don't want any metal shavings or shards in there. So here we go. All right, we got it installed. The 16 bolts, you're supposed to do it in like a star pattern, and you can find the diagram online. I'll put a link below, as well as a little illustration up here in the top left. But you kind of just crisscross and torque them down to 7.5 foot-pounds, which is not that much, but so getting closer to starting this up. One thing I noticed is this hose here is making contact with the lid, and so this is like a plastic. I don't want this to get too hot and melt it. On the other lid, since it was, you know, sloped and low profile, this was like 3/4 or to a full inch above it. So what I'm planning on doing is cutting off this zip tie here and then just kind of pulling it off to the side, so hopefully you can stick it away from the lid, maybe just an inch or so. Okay, that was pretty easy. I just cut off this zip tie, kind of flipped it underneath, and as you can see, it runs parallel now with the other one. We're about an inch away, so that should be sufficient. And then I just put a new zip tie on there. So let's start her up. All right, guys, I just drove around the neighborhood for about 10 minutes to warm it up. I'm gonna do a startup here. All right, with the hood open, it's really noticeable, even from inside the car. I'm gonna close the hood and do the same thing. See if we can hear it from outside the car with the hood closed. Well, guys, I can't say I can hear inside the car when I just did some test revs. My exhaust is really loud. It's stock exhaust, but I have the Borla X pipe. It's currently in touring mode, but once I get some help here, my girlfriend, she's gonna hold the car. I'm gonna drive down the street, do some passes, see what it sounds like outside the car under load. Okay, I have the windows down, and it's in eco mode. Got the Weapon X Supercharger Lid. I'm just gonna give it some revs, see if we can hear the whine. Can't say I can hear anything. I'll switch modes to sport, see if that makes a difference. No. Okay, I have the windows up. Getting on the freeway here. Just gonna give it some gas. Just can't say I hear any whine. Alright guys, so to sum up the Weapon X Supercharger Lid, I'm really impressed with the quality. The fit and finish is really nice, except for having to drill out those 4 holes as you saw earlier, but it just sits on there really nice. Probably provides better cooling than you know, my 2015 lid did. Again, I had to get the 2017 hood liner so it would clear, but you probably have better cooling. I can't say I noticed a ton. I haven't tracked it with this lid on it yet, but you know, you probably got in better cooling, probably a little bit more power. I can't say I can tell much. And then as you saw in the video clips, if I'm outside of the car and the car is parked and you're giving it some revs, you can definitely hear the whine. Even with the lid closed, you can hear a little increased whine. I am a little disappointed and discouraged because I was hoping it was going to be loud enough to hear the whine while inside the vehicle while driving. And as you could see from the clips, I couldn't hear any increased whine. Even driving down this street here aggressively, the exhaust just overtakes any sound of the blower. Again, I have a Borla X pipe on this, so that's probably contributing to it. But, you know, my friend has a stock C7 Z06 Corvette, and it's fairly loud too. So I can't say what this lid would sound like on a completely stock exhaust setup. But again, a little disappointed because Weapon X said it was going to be much, much, much louder. It says that on their website, and they sent me a video of a car that, you know, had the hood popped and it was giving it some revs and it sounded really loud, which it does if the car is parked and the hood's popped. But little sad, you know, I saw some videos on LT4 Camaros on YouTube that had this lid, and it was just louder than hell. You could hear the whine inside the vehicle, which is what I really wanted. So the next step I'm going to do is try to do the Kong ported blower, because that's supposed to increase the whine too. So eventually, hopefully, I'll be able to drive my car while inside and hear the increased blower whine. I did reach out to Weapon X via email asking them, you know, what they thought, and they said they've had lots of C7 Corvettes that, you know, they're really impressed with the whine. I wanted some video clips of that, but I've yet to hear back from them. So, you know, for $1,000, you know, it's kind of up to you whether you think, you know, it's worth it or not. If I had to do it again, I probably wouldn't. But again, before I ordered it, I should have probably asked, hey, am I going to be able to hear the whine while driving? Or even outside of the car? Because again, you know, I got on it right down here on this street, hauled ass, and you just can't really hear any of the whine. So anyways, I hope you found this video informative. Unfortunately, there's no returns, or I'd probably return it. But yeah, please give this video a thumbs up if you found it informative, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.